In today's video, we're taking a look at a brand new Intel SSD designed to provide high performance for a variety of applications. Keep watching to find out more. Hi guys, Angus from Server Factory here. The P5510 Nvme Ssd slid under the radar recently, with so many other big products coming from Intel. It was initially announced back in mid-December 2020, along with a few other updated SSD lines like the Optane P5800X and the 670p. But this data center drive went largely unnoticed because of the other releases, like the Optane. So why would I be interested in this SSD? Intel are marketing the D7 P5510 as a general purpose TLC NAND drive. TLC stands for triple level cells, which means that the memory cells are capable of holding 3 bits of information each. This in comparison with SLC, MLC and QLC, which can hold 1, 2 and 4 bits respectively. The general rule with flash memory is that more bits mean more errors and lower performance, but a lower cost as they are generally cheaper to manufacture. So TLC SSDs like this one kind of hold the midpoint between cost and performance. This drive is still aimed at the data center market with a solid 1 drive write per day rating. In fact, with this drive, Intel were mainly aiming for a performance jump on its predecessor, the P5500. If we look at the advertised specs here, we can see that there are considerable improvements in just about every department. The most noticeable of these is the massively boosted read speeds, with over double the read bandwidth compared to the previous generation. With an advertised 7 GB per second read speed and around 4.2 GB per second write speed, this drive appears to be utilizing PCIe 4 technology to provide a big boost to performance. But these numbers mean nothing if they can't be replicated in the real world. So let's see what our benchmarks say. And just so you know, the system we tested with used an Intel Xeon Silver 4210 processor and 32 GB of RAM. We started with ATTO disk benchmark, which allows us to get a range of results based on different I/O block sizes. We used a consistent file size of 256 MB for our tests. So looking at the results, we can see that the read speed maxed at 4.64 GB per second and the write speed maxed out at 3.23 GB per second. However, once the read speed hits this at a 4 MB I/O size, it quickly plunged into a comparatively low 1.2 GB per second, which was interesting to note. After this test, we moved on to Crystal Disk Mark, which performs a similar read-write test, but this time transferring a specific sized file for 5 seconds. We performed a range of tests transferring files from 64 MB to 64 GB in size. We got our highest results, which were a max read speed of 6.1 GB a second and a max write speed of 3.5 GB a second, at 64 GB and 1 GB respectively. Now, if you're as confused as we were when we heard terms like megabyte and gigabyte, don't worry, it's simply just a more precise measurement as opposed to saying megabyte. After this, we moved on to Passmark's DiskMark software, which gives a rating which can be then compared to other drives to show the relative performance. As you can see, we got a score of 27,886, which nestles the drive between Samsung's 970 EVO and 980 Pro lines. That's about where we would expect for a mid-range PCIe 4 U2 drive. For what it's worth, this score is higher than both the Optane 905p and P4800X, although both of these drives have a smaller capacity, which seems to really affect this test. Finally, we tested on User Benchmark, which gave pretty good scores that again put it just short of the 980 Pro and around the Optane 905p. So, what's the verdict on the D7 P5510? Well, we think for the capacity you can get these in, which is 3.84 TB and 7.68 TB, there currently aren't many rivals around in the PCI 4 market. This will no doubt change at some point, but right now, these offer great performance levels. As you might expect, PCI 4 drives can run at roughly double the speed of PCI 3, so it's well worth upgrading if you have a more compatible motherboard or backplane. If you don't, then it's definitely worth keeping in mind for the next server or workstation you buy. The price of these drives is far from extortionate and comes in around the same as the predecessor, the P4510. So what do you think about Intel's D7 P5510 SSD? Would you consider purchasing one? Let us know in the comments down below. As always, if you've enjoyed, please leave a like and share the video, and for more content from us, subscribe to our channel and click the bell to be notified whenever we upload. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.